Welcome to another episode of Project Renegade. In this episode, we're going to upgrade to a high output alternator. Like I said, we're going to be upgrading the alternator in Project Renegade. We're going to upgrade to a 200 amp alternator. You may notice the two different pulleys here. That's because this alternator can be used for multiple different vehicles. It can be used for Jeep Liberties, Dodge Dakotas, and a couple other vehicles, and they have different sized pulleys. The one that is currently on the alternator is a 55 millimeter pulley, and this one is a 57 millimeter. Now, a quick note, if your vehicle does require the 57 millimeter pulley, you can actually most of the time get away with using the 55 millimeter because of the tensioner on your vehicle will actually pull the extra slack out of the belt, and with this being a smaller pulley, you'll actually get more power basically at an idle. Before we get started, just spin this around here so you can get a look at it. Looks really similar to the stock one, other than having a plastic back. This has a metal back, and it does seem to be a little bit deeper. As you saw on the front here, it says 200 amps and made in the USA. Now, as for stock alternators in Jeep Liberties, and like I said, a lot of Dodge Dakotas and stuff like that, I'm not 100% sure on the Dakotas and the Dodge products, but I know on the Jeep Liberty with the 3.7 liter from 2002 to 2007, in those Liberties, if you had a Sport or a Limited, you came factory with a 116 amp alternator, and if you had the Renegade or the Rocky Mountain Edition, you got a little bit extra. You got a 136 amp alternator, which would be fine for all of your stock needs, and if you added a few extra lights and stuff here and there. But as you've seen, we've added more than a few extra lights, and we've added quite a bit of audio equipment, and we're going to keep adding to that. So I figured we would upgrade our battery, which you saw in the previous episode, and now we're going to upgrade the alternator to go with it and make sure that we have plenty of power. I'm just going to breeze through the installation of this because, it's the installation of an alternator. It's pretty simple, and I think I'm actually going to do a separate video, like step by step, how to change your alternator, so this will just kind of have some highlights in it. Okay, so we have the alternator installed. I may go through and do something about this wiring because if I remember correctly, this wire didn't wrap around like this, but the reason for that is there are the little notches in your mounting flange here, and that's the only notch it had that lined up, so it kind of put this wire out at an odd angle, and I can't get my cover to snap back on, but I think I'll deal with that later. Okay, we don't have any warning lights, no battery lights or check engine lights or anything. We are still at 14.3 going between 14.3 and 14.4 volts. Everything seems to be fine. As I mentioned earlier, you do have the two different pulleys, and I am running the smaller of the two pulleys, and it does seem that the tensioner has taken up the slack on those. But I'm just gonna give it some gas a couple times here and make sure that we don't have any, real slippage or anything. Okay, it's not slipping or anything. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to stay tuned. We've got more stuff planned for Project Renegade. If you came across this video and you're not one of my subscribers and you like the video, make sure to go into my channel, check out a couple other videos. We've got all kinds of different stuff in there. So yeah, make sure to check those out. And if you find a video that you like, leave a like. If you have something to say, leave it down in the comments. And if you find a couple videos that you like, don't forget to subscribe to my channel.